So, we do know this is crazy. Danielle quit her job. What are we doing? What does the future have in store? What in the world did we mess up?
Yeah.
Are there regrets?
Did I mess up my life?
Did I tell Danielle to ruin her life to be a YouTuber?
The title's true.
She quit her job.
I did. It's a job that a career.
Career? That was a third of your life.
More so even going to school and everything.
Half your life.
Building up my career to what it was. And again, I worked at the hospital for a literal third of my life.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So, little backstory for anyone that may be new here. We've been together for 2.5 years-ish, something like that. And hardest relationship I've ever been in was dating a nurse. It's pretty wild to get an outside perspective of what I never knew, and then coming into this relationship, just the hours, the days, the long days, the overtime, the stress, trauma, story situations. There's just so much. We're just talking about our relationship, not even at the hospital.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy to come from an outside perspective and not knowing anything, being completely ignorant to the hospital life and what it all entails.
It's a whole different world.
It is. It's crazy, and there's a lot of things I never knew or understood, and being in it now for 2.5 years, I get a glimpse of it, and just a glimpse of it in the last 2.5 years is more than enough for me. So for you to do it almost half your life, you know, a third of your life working and half your life getting there to it and school and all that, that's a lot. I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of people that are watching that have been nurses and stuff, and to the extent all I knew was Tom and Rhonda.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people like that understand fully why you're doing what you do.
Yeah, and speaking of too, we did tell Tom and Rhonda.
Yeah.
And he said, good for you.
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy if you're not in it or this type of field of work or anything like that, like, wow, you worked this hard to have this career and you're walking away from it. So I guess a little backstory, again, is that you're a YouTuber.
Yep.
I was a nurse.
Yep.
I, again, worked at the hospital for almost 10 years.
And she fell in love with the YouTuber.
So I started off on the pediatric oncology hematology unit, and I worked there for a majority of my career, and it kind of got to the same thing where I didn't realize I was very depressed and being in that field. It wasn't until like my friends had talked to me about it and was like, you gotta do something different. You are not doing well. So then my next step was I actually cross-trained in the ICU, pediatric ICU, and immediately fell in love with it. I love the high intensity. I mean, it's life and death on the line. You're there, you're fighting death, and it was, I don't know, I loved my job so much. When we first got together, you even said, like, how much would it take a month for you to quit your job? And I said, never.
Yeah.
I would nothing. Like, I would never, ever quit my job. But I just truly think being in that high stress environment for so long, where there's, again, I can't stress it enough, so much on the line. After a while, it does weigh on you. You go home and you think about even like the little things, like what you could have said different. Oh, I should have said this, or the little thing, I could have done this, or oh, I forgot about this. You think about everything, and it just, I don't know, it just weighs and weighs and weighs on you. And I don't know, it gets to the point where it's like, I really don't need this job. I'm just doing it because, again, I used to love it. And
you worked so hard to get there.
Yeah.
A hard thing to walk away from. I know I had told Danielle for the longest time, you know, if you're not fully happy, that's how I live my life with jobs. Clearly not a job like nursing or anything, but it's like, I don't see the point in staying in something if you're not fully happy. It's not like you just were like, all right, I tried it for a month, I don't like it, I'm out. A decade. I mean, a decade. That's a huge part of your life, and life changes. There's different chapters in life, and I just told Danielle, I said, we got this. If you, this was when she was working full time, if you want to go part time and kind of just let it get a little break, but you're still in it, you're doing all that, just take a little time off, go for it. And you did that for a long time.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where you even cut down a little bit more. And I don't know personally if it helped you realize, like, okay, I am a different person when I'm not fully consumed in it. You know, it's like any job that you have like that, that's like a first responder, like a cop, a paramedic, a nurse, you know, just all that. Like, people deal with stuff that they probably won't ever talk about. And I haven't been in that situation, but I can only imagine. And there's situations that I'm in that's not even close to that, that I'm like, oh. But to deal with that other stuff, I mean, I have nothing but respect for people that do jobs like that. So in my eyes, I was just like, look, I want you to live the happiest life you can. And if that means walking away, leaving, messing up your life, or whatever anyone wants to categorize it, even if it's just for a moment, do what you need to do. We're going to make it work. We're going to be fine.
Exactly.
And it just, one day, Danielle was like, are you sure? And I was like, I'm 100% sure we got this. And it blew my mind that you did it.
I'd been talking about it for a while in general, but just never
took that leap.
Took the leap, because it's a weird thing to do. It's such a big part of like me. Yeah. And it's like, well, almost like, what am I without this? It's a huge part, but it's also like a huge relief. Again, it's coming home not with the burden of what happened. And I never really would discuss things, and just one night I just let it out. I just started bawling, and it was like, even if it's something as little as this, and it's just like, you were like, whoa, I had no idea.
Yeah. I mean, I tried to have an idea, but, you know, when you don't talk about it, I can only assume so much. But you got out of the shower, you came out, and was just, you let it all out. And that's when I was just like, all right, we need to have a serious conversation of, do you actually do this? Do you walk away for a little bit, take a break, or forever? You know, at that point, we didn't know, and your heart is in it. It just, in that moment, you know, you need a break from it. You need to get away from it. And because of you guys, we have the opportunity for Danielle to have this moment. And that's what's wild is, I just said, you know what, we're good right now. We're fine. You know, she started working less and less at the hospital, more and more on YouTube. You guys know the Crocker Life has been doing very well and taking off, and we do Coffee Crockers and the Crockers, and we're getting the podcast, all that. We have merch, we do stuff, and it's because of you that's watching. Whether you comment all the time or don't comment at all, or only watch our live chats, or don't watch our live chats, only watch certain videos, building videos or homesteading or whatever, it's because of your support. You're helping Danielle, I don't know the right words, it probably won't be, but like, find yourself again, find the happiness you want. And again, it doesn't mean you're walking away from this career forever. We just have the opportunity for you to step back, and we can focus on what we're doing here, doing stuff like that, and let that kind of just, I think everyone needs that. We just have the opportunity. We can make it happen.
It's amazing.
And it, again, because of you guys. So every time we say something in the video, it's like, you know, we appreciate y'all's support. It's because of you that we can do this and that. How long have you known that this was the end?
Almost two. It's been 2 months.
She put in her 2-week notice 2 months ago and stayed for 2 months. And I think that says a lot about how much she cares for the job and the place that gave her the opportunity to do these things, and just a massive part of your life. You didn't just walk away and throw it away and run away from it.
No.
You're like, I can't do this. I need a break for a moment. I need to put in my 2-week notice, and you end up doing a 2-month notice.
Yeah.
I think that says a lot about you as a person, and as far as how much you care about this career and you what you have dedicated the majority of your life to.
Yeah.
So we do know this is crazy. Danielle quit her job. What are we doing? What does the future have in store? What in the world did we mess up?
Yeah.
Are there regrets?
Did I mess up my life?
Did I tell Danielle to ruin her life to be a YouTuber? I know these questions are just everybody's thinking about it and asking about it and stuff. But in the moment, how do you feel?
I feel great.
Yeah.
I don't know, for one, if it truly has set in, because I think I'll feel it whenever I don't leave this weekend to go to the hospital.
This is fresh. It just happened.
Yeah, and I've had, again, like 2 months for it. The first little bit whenever I put in my notice, it was like it almost felt like a toxic breakup.
Yeah.
I was up and down with it. I was emotional. I was like, what is going on? Like, I can't figure out how I feel. But yeah, now I feel refreshed.
Yeah.
And a little nervous.
Which you should be.
Yeah.
Nervous means you're making sure you did the right thing. You're making sure you're thinking everything. And it is pretty wild to think we're doing YouTube now. You are not a nurse.
Yeah. And I would say for the longest time, it's like, I'm not a YouTuber.
Yeah.
I said, my
you are now.
My fiance is a YouTuber.
Yeah. So, our future and what we have planned and what we're going for is this time that we have, we're going to focus on getting the deck built, the house built, our fencing, get Lambo back over here, figure out structures for the animals, we're going to take the time to focus on our life and what we're doing, getting married, trying to start a family, doing all that stuff. We're going to spend the time focusing on that. So, again, I know a lot of you guys are just asking all these crazy questions, and the biggest thing is, are you walking away from nursing full-time, or are you still trying to be in it, or you want to be a full-time YouTuber?
Actually did get a phone call from, I guess, would be my old manager?
At this point.
Yeah. And a huge opportunity.
So, it was crazy. We were in the car, got the phone call, crazy opportunity, and I could hear so much of it, and I was just like, wait a minute, you are now getting an opportunity to do something even bigger and better.
Yeah.
Because you took a risk and you're trying to find happiness. And I truly believe that when you go in life and you are chasing what you truly want, and it's happiness and all that, everything will work out. You have to take a big risk, and you never know what the next step is. But when you take a big risk and you do certain things, and I think we're hopefully a good example of that with everything that we've done, it may not work out exactly like you want or hope or think, but everything, I am a big believer in everything happens for a reason. And when you put in the right intentions and you put in the right effort, good things come your way.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know how else to say it, but a massive good thing has come your way.
Yeah.
So you guys have to stick around. Next video, you guys will see the project we worked on with Paragon here. We have a crunch time of getting the deck built. We have December 10th is whenever the grain silo's coming. We got a video of our grain silo. It's freaking awesome. It's even bigger than we expected. Yeah. We talked a little bit more on Coffee with the Crockers. Yeah. You guys want to check out some of those details. And did you make a mistake? Time will tell.
Time will tell.
Guys,
big things happening.
They are, and we appreciate y'all's support. We could not do this without you guys. So, like we said, big things are happening. Big things are going on. Life-changing events. This was just one of them.
Yeah.